Oh my god. Okay, so just before we start, I just wanted to show you guys that if you are someone who wants to study Korean more consistently, but you never know where to start, I actually made a 40 plus pages Korean study planner that will help you improve your Korean studies and make you consistent in your Korean studies as well. So it is super flexible. You can use it no matter your level, and it really helps take away that feeling of overwhelm. So if you are interested, you can find it the first link in my description. So let me just go over very, very quickly. So this is what it looks like printed. It is a digital. So you get two different 30-day study planners, one that is based off grammar and vocabulary learning. The second one is all skill focused, so you will be able to actually improve a little bit of every skill every day. So you have also self-filling sheets for vocabulary, verbs, grammar, various trackers, including everyday conversations, journaling sheets, slang, grammar, learning activities, so you will get more than 200 vocabulary words with that Korean study planner. You have also a hanja section with 25 hanja and 75 vocabulary word. So it is about $13.99 USD dollar at the moment plus taxes. So if you are interested, this is actually the first link in my description. It is available in pink as well as in blue. And I also have 10 inspiring wallpapers with Korean quotes that I actually launched last week. So if you are interested, these are 10 pictures that I took personally in Seoul, and I added some inspiring quotes for learning Korean and visiting Korea. So yes, thank you so much for the follow. Thank you. So we will be jumping into today's Korean study session. So I will be showing you guys the Korean podcast if you were not there previously. So it's just 12 then. Yes, it's actually very, very cheap for everything that it includes. So it's more than 40 pages of content. So to be honest, any other learners would sell it at like $40, but I'm trying to make my Korean studies resources affordable for everyone. So this podcast that we will be studying today is from Chesusu once again. I'll consider it. Thank you for making this for us. Thank you so much for supporting me. Really, really appreciate it. So this one is called Korean Podcast for Beginners number 32, 국내 여행, which is domestic travel. We are at about 9 minutes or 3. However, if you have not been there previously, it will be easy for you to follow through. And also the first part is without subtitles, so technically we haven't done much because the first part is without subtitles and this one is with some subtitles. So we will be starting right now. The way it works, if you are new, is that we start off by listening to the sentences one time. After that, we repeat together to practice pronunciation as well as reading. And we finish off by translating everything just to make sure we understand the meaning behind each word as well as Korean sentence structure. In this Korean podcast previously, she talked about a place in Daejeon that she really, really liked, a restaurant where there was a specific soup during summertime that they do that I don't remember the name. So she basically said that this is a very famous restaurant in Daejeon and they don't have in Seoul. So whenever she goes to Daejeon, she always goes to that restaurant. So this is what she introduced us previously. So let's continue with this sentence. Oh, I remember. Oh, yeah, perfect. So now I think she's going somewhere else. So let's see what she's going to be saying.
많아요. 안동에서 하회마을에 갔어요.
Okay, sorry about that. I think I started a little bit too later, but let's repeat those sentences together. 그리고 역사적인 장소가 많아요. 안동에서 하회, I think that is how she pronounced it, 하회 마을에 갔어요. So let's repeat a little bit slower for you guys. 그리고 역사적인 장소가 만나요. 안동에서 하회 마을에 갔어요. So let's translate everything together. We have 그리고 just right here. By any chance, do you guys remember the meaning of 그리고? comment down below if you remember what 그리고 means. So as you guys know, all words starting in 그 most of the time are connective words. So they connect either two parts of a sentence together or two sentences together. In this case, it is starting with 그리고, so it is more connecting with the previous sentence. So comment down below, what does 그리고 mean? Even if you don't know, you can still try and guess the meaning of that word. Thank you so much for the follow. So I will leave you guys a few seconds to comment down below the answer. What does 그리고 mean? Comment down below. I will give you guys the answer in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So most of the time, 그리고 would mean the end. So this is how most learner learn 그리고 and. But I think in some contexts we can also use also, because she wants to add a second point to what she said previously. So I think in this context also could also work. But I would say the official meaning of that word would be more like end. But this end is very, very specific because it either connects two parts of a sentence together or it connects two sentences together. So this is a very particular usage. Is that a word in English? Not sure, but this is a particular way of when you need to use that word. Then let's jump to the next one. Thank you so much for the follow. Thank you. We have 역사적인. So here she is saying historic. So 역사 is history, and I guess 적인 makes it like historic, historical. I don't know if that's a word in English, but yes, so 역사적인 would make it historic. And then we have 장소가. Does any of you guys know by any chance what 장소 would mean? Comment down below if you know what 장소 would mean. Even if you don't know, you can still try and comment and guess the meaning of that word. So what could that potentially mean? Does any of you guys know? What does 장소 would mean? Comment down below if any of you guys know what that would mean. What does 장소 would mean? I'm gonna give you, is Korean hard? It really depends, because if you don't know any Asian language, it might be harder for you to learn at first, but the more that you immerse yourself into the language, the easier it will get. And I think it was also Sev that said that she speak Turkish, if I'm not mistaken, and the sentence structure is very, very similar to Korean. So if you speak any language similar to Turkish, I'm assuming, then it might be easier for you to learn Korean. Thank you so much for the follow, guys. Thank you. So does any of you guys know by any chance what 장소 would mean? Oh, I see one. Great answer. Yes, that was me. Oh, okay, I guess I have a great memory then. Oh my god, you guys are doing amazingly once again. So yes, 장소 is either a place or a spot. So both of them could work. So here it would be historic place or a historic spot. 만나요 is from the verb 만나, to be many or to be a lot. So here it's saying that, and there is a lot of historic places. I was guessing what it could mean, but it says historic, so I thought historic place. Yeah, that would be the most accurate word, right? And that's what's fun with Korean. I mean, with any language. Thank you so much for the follow. Sometimes you just know one word, but you can guess the meaning, like the context of the sentence, just with, what that word means. So you know that historic, it's most likely that there will be, right, a place or something like that. So that is great. Hi, hello. Thank you so much for being here today. How are you doing? Thank you so much for the follow, guys. Thank you. Also, if you are new, don't forget to follow me just right here. I go live 4 times a week where we study Korean together, just like today. And my Korean study sessions, it's not to brag, but a lot of people say it's really fun. I somehow thought of about 청소기. 청소기, is it like cleaning, if I'm not mistaken? Me too. At first when I read that, I was like, cleaning? But then I was like, no place. And there are many historic places. Yes, that is actually correct. Thank you so much for the like. So let's continue. Yes, me too. I thought of cleaning at first, but I was like, that doesn't make sense. And I remembered that 청소 이렇게, like this, like vacuum cleaning. Yeah, exactly. Thank you so much for the follow. Thank you, thank you. So let's continue with the next sentence just right here. So 안동에서 하회 마을에 갔어요. So here, 안동에서, we have the 에서 particle. Does any of you guys remember by any chance? What is the difference between the 에 particle and 에서 particle? Do you guys know? Comment down below. This is something that I try my best to always make you guys practice, because I feel like unless it clicks in your brain right away, you might get confused between those two. So that is why I'm trying every time to make you practice the SL particle. So comment down below. I just saw a great answer. I will let you guys a couple more seconds to comment down below the answer before I give you guys the correct answer. I said answer like 5 times in one sentence. Sorry about that. So comment down below, what does 에서 particle is different from a particle? What is the difference between a and 에서 particle? So both of them are a particle of location or time. So this is a small hint for you guys. I will be drinking a little bit of water and then I will give you guys the answer right away. So actually, Emma got it correctly. So 에서 particle is, it basically means that there is either a specific action that is happening at the location or inside the location, or someone is coming from that location. So leaving that location, that is also when I actually saw a TikTok of 에서 versus right before joining your live. Oh really? That is why? That is amazing then. Hopefully it made it clearer for you to understand the difference between those two. But yes, the 에 particle on its own, yes, both of them are location or time particle. Am I late? No, okay, we just started. That is amazing. Thank you so much for being here. But as I was saying, the 에 particle, just like that, what a coincidence. Yeah, I know, right? So the 에 particle on its own is just a location that simply exists. So just think of like a ghost, right? It's just there, but nothing much to it. And then we have the 에서 particle. That is when an action or something happens to that location. So that is the difference between those two. So we know that the action would be the verb just right here. So if you are not sure, also all the times that there is an action verb at the end of the sentence, you will need to use the 에서 particle anyways. So hopefully it makes sense. If you think it's too complicated to ask, oh, is there an action or not? Just see, is there an action verb at the end? If so, 에서 particle. Is 안동 something with peace? Not exactly, because here, 안동에서, we know that the 에서 is a location or time particle. So here, it is a location. So it is actually a city in Korea. I don't know exactly where it is, so let's check that out so that we have a small geography class, even though I was very not good in geography when I was in high school. So let's see Andong. Where is it on the map? Andong-si. Where is it? Can I? 죄송해요. I will show you guys right after. I try to make it smaller. I think my screen is too small. Is that why? Okay. 잠시만요. Hello, Stefan. Thank you so much for being here. I saw that you changed your name. 에서 is at the and 에 is like to. Yes, but to be more specific, there is an action, right, happening in that location. Oh, okay, so here, this is the map-ish of Korea. And here, Andong would be here. So it is approximately, we have Seoul. That is just right here. We have Busan in the south. So Andong is like in the middle east. Yeah, middle east. So it's like in the middle of the country, right? But more on the east side of just right here, around here. Okay? So that is where Andong would be. Daegu is just right here. I didn't know it was lower. I thought it was closer to Seoul. I actually almost got an internship in Daegu, but it was too far from Seoul, so I was like, no thank you. Anyways, small TMI, but this is where Andong is in Korea. So now we got a small geography class. We know where is Andong and it's quite close to Daejeon. So Daejeon would be more in the middle. So I guess it's like if you go to the east after Daejeon, then you get to Andong. Thank you so much for the follow. Thank you. So now let's continue. So here either in Andong, yeah, in, that would be the closest to, since it is a city, we cannot say at. Do you have videos on getting internships in Korea? Yes, I actually posted videos, I think a couple of months ago, about internships in Korea. You will see the titles like working for a famous Korean company. So this is how I titled it. So if you want to watch them, you can. But I might do also more videos eventually because I think a lot of people are interested in that subject as well. I'm back, guys. Yay, thank you so much for being back. Hello, Angela. Thank you so much for being here. How are you doing? Where can I get this video on YouTube? So this video is called this one, and it is from Taesusu. So you can take a screenshot right now and you can go watch it after that. I really recommend her channel if you don't know it. Okay, so let's continue right now. Thank you so much for the like, guys. Thank you. You guys are the best, as usually. So all good, thank you, and hope you are too. I'm great, thank you so much for asking. Okay, so let's continue right now. So we have this word. It is something related to historic. Taesusu sponsor Audrey. Yes, I should be paid because I'm giving so much free promo. I'm sure like she's getting so much more views because of my Korean study live streams. Thank you so much for the follow. Museum. It's not exactly a museum. I will go on Naver because I googled it earlier. I had no clue what that was, but it's like you know the places. Wait, let me just show it. So I have no clue how it. So it's like this folk village. I have no clue what that means. Taesusu ambassador. Yeah, I hope that eventually, right, I will be able to collaborate with her. That would be amazing, right? I am like I could be her style assistant. Anyways, so yes, this is Hae Mael, which is a folk village. I have no clue what that means, but maybe I can. It's a place in Andong. Yes, it is a place in Andong. You are very correct. Let me see if we have pictures once again, right? 잠시만요. Let's go. No. Andong, yes, thank you. I don't want to go on Google Map anymore, please. Okay, so I have to write it. Andong. Okay, so let's write that. Let's see if there are either images. Okay. I think, yes, you are correct. This is a place in Andong. But, okay, so it is a specific village that I'm assuming what's special about that is that all the roofs are like this. Wow, that is probably why it's called folk, right? Okay, not working. Can I just make it bigger? Okay, let's write it in English maybe. Okay, can you just open bigger, please? 죄송해요. Let's see. Okay. Can you give me? Okay. So like the roofs are very special. Do you guys see? They're like in, I don't know what. Wait, let me try to make it bigger. I don't know. Anyways, you guys see? Wow, geography expert. I'm learning geography too, so that's historic? Apparently, because I guess the roofs are like in, how do you call that? In French, we call that like foin. How do we call that in English? I don't remember. But yeah, so this is a specific village I had no clue existed. Oh, the parking is free. you can get there for 5,000 won, which is 5 Canadian dollar, about 3 USD. Interesting. Interesting. So if you are planning to drive there, at least the parking is free. Very amazing. Looks ancient. Yeah, so cheap. Yeah, you know, in Korea, like visiting stuff is so cheap. If you want to visit like the historical palaces, it's like about $2. Like if it was in Canada, they would make it what, like $15 to visit them? But everything in Korea, I swear, it's so cheap compared to, like, for example, Canada. Oh, we see it better here. Okay, can I just... So do you guys see? So this is what it looks like. It's a little bit dark. That's why I want to visit South Korea. I can spend money without regrets. Yes, exactly. Like, the way I save more money living in Korea than living in Canada is like crazy. So I'm sure a lot of you guys can understand that. Thank you so much for the like. Okay, so now that we know, right, this, oh my God, sorry about that. So here, you can take a screenshot so that you know, is it cheap to live there? So the thing is that it might depend from your country, right? But from Canada, I think rent is approximately the same. The only difference is that in Korea, you need to pay a deposit when you go there. Most of the time, it will be $1,000, like not 1,000 won. If we make it in, it will be like 1,000,000 won, which is $1,000. I'm very not great with maths. So you need to add 3 zeros after $1,000. So that makes it 1,000,000, right? 1,000,000 won, that would be $1,000. So most deposits are $1,000 for very, very cheap places. But the bigger your place is and the more recent your apartment is, the bigger the deposit is. So sometimes it can be like, for good places, it will be maybe like $5,000, which will be 5 million won ish. So just for the rent, it can be quite expensive in a way that you need to pay upfront a big amount, but the rent is lower because of the deposit. So at the end, it's kind of the same because you will get back the money. So the deposit is only if you arrive, unless like you completely destroy the apartment, then you won't obviously get your deposit back. But if everything is correct, then you will get it back. So technically this money, you need to have it upfront, but you will receive it when you leave. So at the same time, it's not too bad. But life there, like food generally, is cheaper, except fruits and vegetables. This is crazy expensive. Like for example, a small bucket, like at the, not bucket, but a small cup at the convenience store that holds maybe 15 grapes was like $10. So yummy Korean food, yes. So the only thing that is bad is that some places in Korea is like mountain, yes. Yes, a lot of mountains, especially if you live, like when I lived in Korea, I was more in the north of Seoul. So I was closer to the mountains. So to get back to my home was a whole workout. So if you want to see what it was like going back home every day, you can watch my most viewed videos on my profile. You will see all the mountains, but yes. It's okay, I don't eat vegetable. Oh, really? Interesting. But yes, so veggies and fruits, very expensive. Also, the thing with Korean food is that they really like sweet things. So most of the food there is sweet. For example, pizza. I ate pizza in Korea. Somehow they made pizza sweets. Walking every day in the stairs. Yes, stairs, but not just stairs, hills as well. To be honest, I got so fit after leaving Korea. That was crazy. But when I first arrived, I wanted to die. I'm not gonna lie. But yes, the mountains and not the mountains, the hills and the stairs are something. It reminds me of Istanbul. Oh, really? Interesting. Stairs to heaven. Literally. Literally. As in like many go up downs. Yes, exactly. Yeah, the same in Korea. But you will see in like the most, I think a lot of people are like, oh no, there's not a lot of hills in Korea, blah, blah, blah. But the most touristic places don't have hills. However, the places that are more local and more like where people live, then there are a lot of hills. When I went to Korea, I didn't like that all of the bread and pickles and stuff. Yes, everything was sweet. Everything. Pizza, sweet. Also the chips. You cannot find chips that are not sweet. I brought like Lay's from home when I went to Korea, but I quickly ate them all because there was nothing salty in Korea. So yes, if you go to Korea, bring your own chips because you won't find any that are good. Can you translate the first sentence? I wasn't there. Yes, no worries. So 그리고 and 역사적인 historic 장소가 place 만나요 a lot. So and there was a lot of historic places. So that would be how this sentence would be translated. So yes, now we know that the 하회 마을에 is a folk village in Andong. Hello. Thank you so much for being here. How are you doing today? A lot of people, I'm amazed. Thank you so much for all joining me today. So here, after that, we have 갔어요 from the verb 가다, to go. I gotta go, Audrey, dinner time. See you maybe later. Thank you so much for joining today. Hopefully you will have a good dinner. And I hope you have a great evening as well. Thank you so much for being here. And thank you so much, guys, for the like. So here, 갔어요 from the verb 갔다, to go, double shield under here. So we know it is in the past tense. So in Andong, which we know is in the middle east of Korea. Okay, so in Andong, she went to this folk village, which looks like this for anyone that was not there previously. So yeah. This sentence is what this means. So now let's go to the next sentence. However, if you have any questions about those two, please feel free to comment down below and I will answer as soon as I see it. Also, if you guys are new, just before I continue, don't forget to follow me just right here. I go live 4 times a week where we study Korean together, just like today. I went to the Han folk village in Andong. Yes, that is correct. That would be correct. So let's jump to the next sentence now.
역사적인 장소가 많아요. 안동에서 하회마을에 갔어요. 하회마을 안에 한옥이 많아요. 한옥은 한국의 전통적인 집이에요.
Oh, I love that. You guys know every time I see a word, I have to go translate it and go see what that means. However, I'm always too early because she always 안녕 스파클링 친구 안녕. What podcast channel is this? This is Tesusu podcast. So you can quickly take a screenshot if you want to go watch it later. So yes, that is so funny because every time I'm like, oh, what the hell is this? And then she explained it later. So let's get into it now. So here, 하회 마을을 안내 한옥이 많아요. 한옥은 한국의 전통적인 집이에요. So let's repeat a little bit slower for you guys. 하회 마을 안내 한옥이 많아요. 한옥은 한국의 전통적인 집이에요. 고마워요. 네. So let's just say everything together. We have 하회 마을. What is it, guys? Comment down below the answer. You probably know by today's podcast, if you have been here for at least 15 minutes, you might know what that means. So comment down below. What is 하회 마을? What does that mean? Comment down below. What does that mean? 하회 마을. What is that? Comment down below if you guys know the answer. We saw it in the previous sentence, so you should be able to give me the answer. What is that word? Comment down below. Comment down below if you know what that means. So what does that mean? Okay, so what does that mean? Comment down below the answer. I will give you guys the answer in a few seconds. I will just drink a little bit of with free parking. That is the part that you remembered. That is funny. Okay, I will drink a little bit of water and then after that, I will give you guys the answer. So you guys are actually correct. This is a historical village, to be more precise, a folk village with free parking. And what was the free? $5? Was it $5 to go there? I'm not sure. I don't remember. But anyways, very, very cheap if you want to go there. It is in the Middle East of Korea, but you might need a car to go there. So that is why there is the free parking. Okay. So you guys are correct. We have 안내. So what is 안내? Comment down below if you guys know. We have the 에 particle, so we know it is either a location or a time. Here in this context, it is more associated with location. It is a word that is associated with some type of location. What is 안내? Comment down below. What does that mean? What could that mean? Comment down below. The answer, I will give you guys the answer in a few seconds. Stefan, yeah, it is actually the opposite of what you wrote. At peace? Not in this context. Oh my god, I'm silly. What? Is not I mean, you would be correct, right? There is that means not, but here it is more associated with location. That was a great guess though. So you guys are actually correct. This means inside. 안내, inside. However, you see that it is actually located after the location. Because yes, that is still a great guess. Close enough. Yes, that is a great guess. So you know that it could potentially mean an, so it's already a great start. However, in this context, it is not the purpose of this word, but you know, that could have been great. So yes, as you guys can see, a lot of those words after, inside, before, outside are always after the purpose of the word. So in English, it would be the opposite, right? We would be inside the folk village. But in Korea, it would be folk village inside. So very interesting formulation, right? But as you guys know, in Korean, you need to rewire your brain completely the opposite way. So you know, one more thing that you need to rewire your brain with. So remember, always after the reason why you are saying that. So don't put it before, always after. Confusing, but write that down because it is very, very important. So 안내, inside. 아하의 마을, folk village. 한옥이 만나요. So I won't give you guys the translation to 한옥이 right away because she is basically explaining what that is down below. So I will explain it after that. And then we have 만나요 from the verb 만다, to be many, to be a lot. So here it's saying that inside the folk village, there are a lot of 한옥. So 한옥, what is that? That is basically what we Googled before. So let's get into that. Here we have 한옥은. So once again, I won't tell you the translation. The roof, almost. It's not just the roof, but you are getting in the right direction. So yes, 한옥은, I won't tell you the translation right away because she is explaining what this is. Okay? So here we have 한국에. Does any of you guys know what that means? What does 한국에 mean? Comment down below if you guys know what 한국에 would mean. Comment down below if you guys know what that would mean with the 에 particle. Very, very important. Okay? With the 에 particle, what does that make it? 한국에. What does that mean? Comment down below. Very, very important. This particle can change a lot of things. Yeah, I see a lot of great answers. Thank you so much for this share, Angela. Thank you, thank you. Oh, I see a lot of great answers. Thank you so much for the follow as well. Korea's possessive, Koreans. Amazing. Once again, you guys know the answer to everything. So that is correct. We have 한국. 한국 is something related to Korea, so either something Korean or the country itself. We have the 에 particle that makes it possessive. So the possessive of Korea, which would be this. So here possessive mean words in English that are apostrophe S. So just like Chandrasel said, Koreas or Koreans both could work. Right? So here it's something that belongs to 한국, which is just right here. So let's get into it. We have 전통적인, that we know is traditional. So we saw earlier it was 역사적인, which was historical. So here you see 적인 kind of makes it the formulation of words in French. I was going to say in French. Words in English that are ending in AL. So earlier it was 역사적인, which was historical. Now we have 전통적인, traditional. So 전통, I think it means like tradition. So pair it with 적인, it makes it traditional. So very, very interesting. Not formulation, but you guys know what I mean, right? It makes it easier. So you just know that you take the nouns, you put 적인 after that, and it basically makes it the words ending in AL in English. Interesting. I noticed a lot of adjectives ending with in. Yes, so adjectives ending in is because the original verb is with the verb 있다. So to be. So for example, to be big. Not in that case because it would just be 그다. But verbs that are based off adjectives, right? That are to be this, for example, there will be the ida after that most of the time. I don't have any example right now out of my head. So that is why in adjective forms it would be in, because a lot of times when you transform a verb into adjectives, you take the verb stem and then you add the n after that, right? So that is why it would be like that. Okay, so let's continue right here. So here we know that it is words ending in al, and we have 집이에요. So 집, we know it is a house, and just like here we have the verb 있다 as well. So it is to be a house. So it is a house. So here it would be 한옥은. So this word is like a traditional Korean's house. So that would be the translation to this sentence. So this word, 한옥은, would be Korean's traditional house, which is like this, for anyone that was not there before that. So you know there are two types of Korean houses, right? Like the one that are like this were mostly used for people that were royalty, right? So all the palaces all have those roofs because they were made for the wealthiest people in the country, which were the royalty. But the people that were not rich, this is what their home looked like. So you see the difference with the roof. It was more like, how do we call that in English? I know in French it's foin, but I don't remember what this is in English. So if you know what this roof is made out of, you can comment down below. But yes, so the people that were not rich were living in houses with those type of roof. Hay? Straw? Good questions, because I don't think I have ever learned that English word, thatched roof. I'm sure everyone has the correct answer, I'm assuming. But you know the things that, for example, horses eat, you know? I don't know, how do we call that in English, like their food? But in French, it's foin. So either hay or straw. Okay, I guess that is correct. I don't know any of those words. The straw that I know is, you guys probably know. Hay? Okay, so I guess it is hay. So yeah, it is made of probably another type of material, but this looks very similar to hay. So here, this was the houses. That is why it's called a folk village, because it was the people that were either farming out of the city or the people that were not rich. So they were in few. I almost forgot my English, my own language. It's okay. So yes, they were people that were of the lowest hierarchy. Wait, the lowest level. How can I pronounce that word? Oh my god, I have trouble with words today. Very sorry about that. Yes, okay. So here, the people that were tour, we can call them that, and the royal family were living in those type of houses. So you guys see a lot of Korean history with me. I didn't think I would teach Korean history in my whole life. I hated history in high school so much, but I am now telling you guys more about Korean culture and history. Here, yes, I know how to pronounce it normally, but I don't know why today it doesn't want to come out. I think my brain is too fried, that is why. Sorry about that, but you know what I wanted to say. So that would be the translation to those two sentences. So let's jump to the next sentence. However, if any of you guys have any questions about those two, feel free to comment down below.
아직 사람들이 한옥에 사는 것 같았어요. 한옥을 구경하고 여러 가게도 구경했어요.
Okay, so let's repeat those two sentences together. 아직 사람들이 한옥에 사는 것 같았어요. 한옥을 구경하고 여러 가게도 구경했어요. How is the word called? 한옥? Yes, it is here. 한옥. Just like here. So let me repeat a little bit slower for you guys. 아직 사람들이 한옥에 사는 것 같았어요. 한옥을 구경하고 sorry about that. I don't know how to speak today. 여러 가게도 구경했어요. So let's translate everything together. I don't know if we will have time for both of those sentences, but let's start with the first one above. So does any of you guys know what 아직 would mean? Comment down below. If you guys know what 아직 would mean, what is the translation to 아직? What could that mean? Comment down below. If you guys know what that means, 아직. What does that mean? Comment down below if you know the answer. And even if you don't know, you can still try and guess the meaning of that word. Comment down below, what could that mean? Comment down below. What does that mean? I will give you guys a few more seconds to comment down below the answer. I will give you guys the answer in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So I see some great answers. So actually there could be two different ways. In my first language, German, I know it's bald, which means soon. Interesting. But in English, 아직 would either be yet or still. So that would be mostly how it would be translated, either as yet or still. 아직, yet or still. That would be how we would translate this word. So let's continue with the next one. We have 사람들이. We know that 사람 is a person. Adding 들 makes it plural. So at any time that you want to make a word plural, you just gotta add 들, just 들 after that. So it makes it plural. Here it becomes people. However, like I mentioned a couple of times before in my Korean study live stream, sometimes you will see 사람 just on its own and you won't see 들, but I mistook soon for 곧. Yeah, exactly. 곧 would be more like soon. 아직 is more like yet or still. Thank you so much for the follow and the like. 고마워요. So yes, you will see a lot of times, especially when Korean people talk, they won't necessarily add the 들, but in context that people already know that there is more than one person included. That is why they don't use the 들, because everyone knows that it would most of the time mean more than one person. So that is a small, thing, because sometimes you might think, oh, okay, are they talking just about one person because it's not plural? But actually, everyone knows that it is plural, so sometimes they do not add it to their sentences, because for Korean people, the shorter, the better. That is the motto that you need to remember. The shorter, the better. So let's continue now. We have 한옥에. So 한옥, we know that it is the house, right? Traditional Korean house that were, used by people of lower level of income. So they used to live in those places. Let me show you once again the picture for anyone that was not there previously, but this is what Hanok would look like. Okay, and then here a particle, once again, location or time. Here it is more of a location. Farmers, yeah, it can be either farmers or either like also people that lived most of the time outside of the city but were of lower income. So you know, there is not just farmers but probably anyone that was working in this low type of jobs back then when there was royalties. Then this is probably how the houses they lived in look like. And the ones that are like the palaces are the ones that used to be lived by royalty, so the higher people of the level, the highest level of people. I'm not gonna try to pronounce that word right now. I know my brain is fried, so I'm not trying. So yes, and then we have 사는 것 같아서요. Here we have 사. Do you guys know what that means? What this verb would mean? Comment down below if you guys know what this verb would mean. 사. Just 사 on its own. I will tell you guys, right, the full verb after that, but comment down below. Something that is very, very specific is that it might seem like another verb, but they removed one letter, which makes it different. So what is that verb? Comment down below if you know. I think it's harder. I know someone commented the right answer. So here, no idea. It's okay, no worries. So 사는 것 같아서요. The 사 part, actually, not exactly, but a lot of times people get confused with that because 사다 is originally to buy, to purchase, but here it is not purchasing the house, right? It is from the verb 살다, to live. So this is from the verb to live. So yes, here that can be confusing sometimes because like just in that context, for example, they remove the rier. So you might think it is to purchase, but it is actually to live. So I don't know exactly in which context do we need to remove the rier, but I know a lot of times in Korean you will see sentences like this and you might think it is to purchase, but it is actually to live. 살다. Yes, exactly. The verb 살다, to live. So here, after that, we have 것 같았어요. Here, they say that the grammar pattern is 는 것 같다. So that is also why they removed the rier probably. So if she meant to buy, it would be the same. Yes, it will be the same as well. So it is more in the context of the sentence that you will know the difference. So if buying wouldn't make sense, it is most likely to live. So also, I think it's a little bit easier to notice because it would be almost impossible to have a sentence where both of them could be used, right? I mean, maybe, but the chances of having a sentence that could either mean buy or live are very, very short. And then we have write this grammar pattern, which is 것 같아, to think, look like. So whenever you want to say your opinion in a lighter way to not offend anyone, so you are saying this is how I think, it might not be the truth, but this is what I think. Here in the past tense, double 시옷 because no, it is because there is double 시옷, it is in the past tense. Sorry about that. So here it is saying that she thinks that people are still living in the Hanok. I'm not sure if it is still or not living anymore. Could the rier be removed because it's a patsim and it follows? Yeah, maybe it could be potentially the reason why, but I'm not sure if it is exactly the reason why they removed the rier, but you will see sometimes it's like that. It's just my opinion. Yes, exactly. That would be how it would be translated. I think people still live in Hanok. Yes, this is, I think, what would be the translation to that sentence. So there are still people living in those Hanok. So that is what she thinks. Okay? So let me translate word by word once again. Still, or also there is still, yet, there is another one that I just forgot. Anyways, yet, still, there is another word. Why can I not remember now? Anyways, still, yet, people in those traditional Korean houses live, I thought. So, yes. That would be what this sentence means. Or I know 1년 is pronounced. Yes, it's more like a Pachim rule. But here, like, Pachim rules is that there would be a letter that is not pronounced. But I don't think it's accurate the opposite, right? I don't think. I'm not sure. Thank you so much for the follow. Thank you. So I'm not sure of the answer. So do you want me to quickly do the last sentence? Comment down below if you want me to do the last sentence. If not, that will be the end for today. So let me know if you guys want me to do the last one, or should we call it a day and continue tomorrow instead? So comment down below what you guys want. Four? Huh? Not sure. Okay, so I will be drinking a little bit of water, and then after that we will continue with the last sentence for today. Okay, so let's repeat that sentence together. 한옥을 구경하고 여러 가게도 구경했어요. So here, 한옥을, we know that it is a traditional Korean houses. We have 구경하고, which is from the verb 구경하다, to look around or to explore. There is another word, so to look around, to, you know, for example, when you go inside a store and you just look around, you are not intending to purchase anything, you're just looking. So that is one way that you can, you are not doing any actions, basically, to browse. Yes, that could be correct. However, here in this case, right, you are not, I don't think you have the purpose of purchasing that home. So it's more like casually looking around those 한옥을, so looking around the roads and things like that. Like, you do not go inside, basically. So I think that is what she wanted to admit, right? They are just looking around, but they are not necessarily going inside the 한옥. We have the go part. So as you guys probably know, I mean, I hope by then, especially if you watch a lot of my Korean study live streams, the go particle. Ah, yes, okay, that's what you meant. Okay, yeah, that's what you meant. But it is pronounced that way because from number 1 to 4 in native Korean number, whenever you pronounce it out loud, you remove the last letter. So yeah, so that is why. So it's like 한, 두, 세, 네. So that is why the last letter is not being pronounced. Okay, so let's continue now. We have the go particle. Like I mentioned, it means and in Korean. However, there is something very, very specific. It is only used with verbs, adjectives, or actions. So you cannot use it with any other type of words. So if you want to use it with any other type of words, you need to use another way of saying and in Korean, because there are plenty of ways to say and in Korean. So here, looking around the 한옥, and 여러 가게도 구경했어요. I think it's something related to a location, 여러, but I'm not exactly sure. So I will be checking because I don't remember. I have seen that previously, but I guess my brain, several, many, yes. Okay, interesting. Yeah, I have seen it plenty of times before, but somehow didn't remember it. So here, it's various or many or several. So it's just like the verb manda, right? To be many, to be a lot. But here it's more like a word on its own that means several, many, a lot of, all those type of words, okay? Kake. Does any of you guys know what kake means? What does kake would mean? Comment down below. What does kake would mean? So what does that mean? Comment down below if you guys know what kake would mean. If we know that it is paired with yoro, which means several, many, a lot of, comment down below. To go inside other room? Not exactly. Deep? Not exactly. So what does kake would mean? What does that mean? Comment down below if you know the answer. Even if you don't know, you can still comment down below and try and guess the meaning. Oh, I just saw a great answer. I just saw a great answer. Okay, so I will give you guys the answer in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. K is actually correct. So kake would mean store. So you know how I gave you guys the example of the store before that? It's also because I saw it in the sentence. So I tricked you guys. So various or several stores. To, we have the to particle that means also. Something that you need to remember also is always glued to the word. Always tricking. I love that. I love that. I love tricking you guys to see if you're following me or not. But to also, yes, that would be correct. So it can also mean to or also. Something that you need to remember, it is always glued to another word, so you will never see it hang out by himself. No. You guys don't like that? Yeah, so it never hangs out by itself. It's always glued to another word. And if there are 3 or more things that you want to say also to, you need to add it to all of the choices except the last one. So if there are 2 choices, right, you can just say 가게도, the last choice, and 구경했어요. However, if there are 3 places, you say 가게도, the other choice 도, and the last choice 구경했어요. Okay, so remember, if there are 3 or more things that you want to say also to, you need to add to all of them besides the last one. So that is another way to remember with the 도 particle. And then we finish off with 구경했어요, which is from the verb 구경하다, to look around, to browse, to explore. Here, double shut under here, so we know it is in the past tense. So it's saying that she looked around the hanok, and she looked around also various stores. Okay, so she didn't only visit the hanok, but I guess there were also some stores in Andong which she visited. And she looked around, basically. She looked around without probably purchasing anything. So that would be how this sentence, I wonder if she bought anything. If she bought anything, she would definitely say it in the next sentence. So you have to be there tomorrow to know. So will curiosity kills you? You need to be here in my next Korean study live stream tomorrow to know if she purchased anything. Also, if you guys are new, don't forget to follow me right here. I go live 4 times a week where we study Korean together. What time tomorrow? So tomorrow it's going to be at 1 p.m. EST time. So it's going to be basically in 2 hours. So if you take your time zone plus 2 hours, this is the time that tomorrow I will be going live, as well as Thursday. So if you want to make sure to not miss the next part of this Korean study live stream, then you just need to join me. Okay, 7 p.m. for me. That is amazing. Hopefully you guys will be able to join us tomorrow. But before we end, I have a few things I want to tell you guys. Okay, first, what is the emoji of the week? We need to pick together. I always forget. What emoji of the week should we pick? Comment down below and I will pick one of your choices. So which emoji of the week should we do for this week? Thank you so much for the like. What could that be? Comment down below. Let's try to find an emoji that we have never done before. What could that be? I will wait a couple more seconds if anyone wants to Okay, so let's go with the purple heart this week. So what is the emoji of the week is that whenever you see my Korean study live streams or that you see any of my videos on your For You page, you can just comment this emoji this week and I will note that you are here today during this Korean study live stream. So it's like a secret code that we only have between each other and no one will understand what that means beside each other. So this is a fun little activity that I always do each week with you guys. And so remember, it is the purple heart emoji. Second thing, I am currently organizing my content of the week. So is there anything for Korean Friday weeks that you guys want me to talk about? So comment down below if there is anything that you struggle with Korean and you want me to talk about it. This Korean Friday tip. So for anyone that doesn't know what is Korean Friday tip, every Friday I give you guys a tip on something specific in Korean that you guys requested. Native Korean slang words. Slang words. You guys want that? You guys want slang words? I can possibly do that. So comment down below if you guys have any requests that you want me to do. But I will pick one of you guys. Let me take a screenshot of that. Do you guys have anything else you want me to cover for this Friday Korean study tip? Comment down below. If not, we will probably go with that. And I just want to remind you guys one last time that if you've been feeling stuck or unmotivated to study Korean recently, I also have my Korean study planners that are more than 40 pages that can help you find your rhythm to your Korean studies again. So you can grab it from the first link in my bio if you want to start after today's live. So we have a pink version as well as blue one. So multi-choice quiz. You want me to do a quiz? So if you guys are interested to purchase any of those Korean study planner as well as Korean phone wallpapers, then you can find it the first link in the description. If not, that will be the end for today, sadly, but we will see each other tomorrow as well. If you guys can make it, of course, we will be continuing the Korean podcast that we had been doing for a while. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining today. I really appreciate everyone that is able to make it. And I hope that you guys enjoyed this Korean study live streams. To be honest, I wish I could do that every day because I'm having a lot of fun. But sadly, that would take too much of my time. And I feel like I'm missing time right now. I would need like 40 hours in one day. So yes, Annyeong, thank you so much for being here. So I really appreciate everyone that was able to make it today. And I will see you guys tomorrow, 2 hours from now on. And don't forget, emoji of the week is the purple heart. So I will see you guys tomorrow, okay? 선생님 감사합니다. 감사합니다, 여러분. 안녕히 계세요, 여러분. 내일 봐요. 안녕.